2, 3, 4.
magnet after I find all these screws. My luck, I'll find them with my truck tires. And that's the end of what, day 2. Got a big old pile of scrap going. So I was cleaning this front end out, you know, cleaning, whatever, taking it apart, and I found these things stuffed down in the thing. I also found this, which is a title, and at first I thought it was the title for the trailer, which I don't have, but then I realized it's for a 99 Saab. Well, I have the Saab than the trailer, frankly. So then I started pulling off these, you know, and there's some evidence of rodent habitation, and you're kind of going along, you're thinking, well, there used to be mice here or something, and then, huh, I think that's a squirrel. Doesn't really smell. Maybe that's a whole bunch of squirrels. Yeah, it looks like some more up in there. So something killed them. You can see they've chewed their way along. They literally chewed a hole through there. Looks like maybe they were getting in through the electrical compartment, through that big hole that had, it did have a metal plate screwed over it. But that's probably where they were getting in. So I wouldn't be surprised if I found more damage, because there's rodent damage throughout the whole trailer. They're getting in somewhere. But yeah, that was time to take a break, maybe. So, as you can see, some scavenger has come along and solved my problem for me, exactly as I predicted last night. This is why there's no sense rushing into things. Just let nature take its course, and then you don't have to clean up the dead squirrels. It's great. Perfect. Looks like we blew it up with a bomb, which would have been way more fun than this. Like day 4, 5, something like that. I don't know. Saturday. I'm lucky I know that much. mess with that fiberglass without a mask. Is it just going on its own?
Going.
There she blows!
Fuck.
Oh, springs are still good. My own cord, man. So yesterday we set up kind of a processing station. This is all the aluminum from the windows. Got a couple left. That's where I got this lovely gash on my finger. Taking windows apart. But other than that, roof's off. Just cut it all the way around and rolled it off, and there it is. This guy's pretty good. See, he backed off the crossing so people could go even though the lights are flashing. He keeps it to a minimum with the horn. Not like the guys that were out at 4:30 this morning. And 5:30 and 7:30 and 8:30. You know what it's like to get woken up by an air horn? 140 decibels at 5:30 in the morning. It's awesome. I think it's seeds. Just like a whole trail. You can see the hole there, all on the top. It's just nice heaven in here. It smells so bad. Ugh. Alright, well that's a bit of a milestone, I guess. That's the whole upper structure gone. That's the last of the fiberglass right there. Everything with metal on it is in that pile. Kind of stopped separating after a bit. It's the second load going away in the truck, and this is all fiberglass as well. So we're making progress. What do you think, buddy?
All right, here we go. We got the trains in the background here. It's crazy around here. Let me show you where we're at. It's like day 37. I don't know. It's probably not that bad, but it's definitely 2 weeks into it, solid, and it's going. All right, you can see. I mean, I got most of the bed off. We're down to the last few sheets of plywood. It's had, give it a second. Free atmospheric effects supplied by New England Central Railroad. Hashtag not sponsored. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, plywood's off. It's had a couple days soaking in the sun and the rain to kind of wash some of it down, sterilize some of it, hopefully, like wash some of the muck down into the dirt, I hope. I don't know if it helps. Definitely being out here in the sun for a couple days, it smells a lot better than it did. Not better, but like it's not so overpowering as it was when I first ripped the floor off. So, and my finger is healing nicely. So yeah, let's, I think these time-lapse things are pretty good. I like it. Let's see if we can get this thing done in one more time-lapse. Yeah, and for those of you who may have heard me say some things or seen me type a few things and needed some further proof, that, my friends, is a diabetic needle that has been converted to use with opioids. And how do I know? Because there was stuff like this all over the trailer. One of many. These are empty, I think, barbiturate packages. It's a glorious life in trailers. Ah, there is a tank, and it's the shit tank. Great. Great! This just keeps getting better. I was told there was no shit tank. Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but on closer inspection, maybe it's empty. Let's try down there. So maybe someone drained it already, at least. Could be worse, I guess. Yeah. Could be worse. I mean, I guess the good news is that one of them's water. And that one doesn't have anything in it either, really. The bad news is it's two giant pieces of high-density polyethylene that I'm not quite sure how I'm going to recycle or dispose of, as the case may be. Which means they're going to be sitting around here for a while. That's no good. I don't know. We'll think of something. Okay, right about now, you're probably saying to yourself that I should have expected those tanks to be in there. And I kind of half did. I asked the guy when I bought it if they were in there, and he said, no, everything's been disconnected. And you know, you go inside the thing and it's completely empty. I don't know. I ducked under and looked at the frame from the outside, I guess. Probably should have looked a little closer. I might have been able to knock a few bucks off the price. I mean, in the end, it's definitely not the end of the world. It's just a little bit more hassle I have to deal with. That's kind of the thing with this. As you peel it back, you find there's stuff you're gonna have to deal with that you didn't really want to deal with. That's the price of getting a cheap trailer, I guess. Hang on, a few more minutes, I'll have the rest of the metal off, and then we can take a look at the frame close up. Just hang on a minute. I'll be right back. Moving on. Back to work, you miserable. And get yourself some gloves with some actual fingertips on them this time. Okay, let's have a look. Starting at the beginning. So, alright, well, everything's off. Tanks came out easy. I just cut them on the fittings and they dropped right out. There's nothing in them. They're mostly full of fiberglass, wood chips and stuff. So they were emptied out at some point, and maybe even flushed. Probably to try and get rid of the smell, because there was still smell in the floorboards over that area where the tanks were, which is where I assume the bathroom was at one point. But that was all long gone by the time I got in there. So the crank is broken. The hitch, I mean, it works. The locking tongue works, but it probably needs a little banging back into shape. The rod came off as that propane tank holder, I think. We have some leftover plumbing. Looks like gas plumbing, probably for the propane to run the stove and the heater, and that runs, I don't know if you can see, it runs all the way back, and there's a copper tube all the way at the back end. That's the termination fitting, and there's another one right there. So one of those was the stove probably, and maybe there was a couple of heaters teed off, but all that's coming out. A little bit of a wiring left. That'll be out because I have here in this pile, it's hard to see, underneath the extension cord and the gloves and the Sawzall, there's a bunch of wire. There's a bunch more wire over there. That'll all go to the scrap yard. So rolling down the frame, there's damage to a few of the, I don't know what you call these things, where they go wide. The crossbar ends. So that one's bent. And there's a little bit of rottenness there. But nothing terrible. All those can be banged back into shape and weld supports on them. The springs are light, but they're not broken. Pretty easy to replace. We're gonna have to grind off all of those bolts. It had electric brakes. Maybe we can fix those. Everything's fixable. I don't see any cracks, bad rust anywhere. I mean, all of this stuff could use attention, obviously. Basically, just be rebuilt. And the only really bad cross member is this one. You can see that it's got hit on something. And it's bent. That's easy to bend back into shape. And the top of that one's also the worst. That's where the worst of the rot was. So there was water trapped up against the top of that cross member. But all that's easy to fix. The main gussets are all good. Coming down along here, I don't see any cracking. Yeah, all the attachment points for the springs are solid. The frame itself is good. So, hey, listen, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I think in the end, we gained. So, looks like I'll be putting a few more cross members in almost no matter what I do with it, since they're pretty light on the cross members. We'll straighten out some of this stuff that got a little wonky, grind it and paint it, get the rest of the yard cleaned up. All right, so let me show you the aftermath. That's 3 big bags of insulation. We'll certainly get another one full of insulation. There's been 3 or 4 bags, maybe 5, have already gone to the dump. Just full of garbage, broken glass, things like that. This is all the aluminum. There's some steel mixed in there on the bottom, but this is mostly aluminum. Some of it's got a little bit of wood. You can see down there is a little bit more wood I gotta get off. And in here there's a few pieces that definitely have a lot more wood. So yeah, there's definitely a few more bags of fiberglass to go out and some more garbage. Once I can move the trailer, I'll rake all this stuff up. I got a pile of really garbage wood. I can't even burn a lot of that. It's so rotten. I got all this, which is most of the flooring, and it's rotten, it's chipboard, and it's covered in fiberglass. Hey, if you know anybody who wants that, give me a call. Tanks, same story. Anybody want any old used RV tanks? Could make you a great deal. Over here is wood that we're probably going to cut up and put in the kiln and use to make things on the forge, which we will get running here. The charcoal kiln is surrounded by dandelions at the moment, but it'll be running again in a moment. I have all this pile of stuff that's going to scrap, which is from a different job, actually. And the big one is out back here next to the compost pile. And this bird who's been here all morning and won't leave, I have this, which is a lovely pile of debris, which is going to get bigger when I add the flooring panels to it. It's all on my side of the line, but just barely. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it all. It's a lot of stuff to take to the dump. That'd be, I could probably do it in 2 trips. So that'd be at least $100-something. And I'm not really sure I'm ready to double the price of the trailer at this point. So probably what I'll do is I'll just mulch it all down. I'll come out here and break it all up. Maybe I'll put some of it through the chipper. We get that thing running, and I'll just mulch it all down and then cover it in sticks and grass and let it compost. It'll all go away eventually. Let Mother Nature do the job for us. That's fucking stupid. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's stop. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. I'm down to the frame, and all that's left is the cleanup. So I'll let you guys know next time how I did at the scrapyard. Leave your guesses down below. When I called, the guy said 15 cents a pound. So put it down below how much you think I'm gonna get when I recycle all that stuff. Okay, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, hey, you think if you'd made it this far, you'd actually be a subscriber, but it turns out that a surprising number of you aren't yet. So, help me out. Subscribe, hit the button, like, you leave me a nice comment, you know? Grumpy guys need love too.
Forge20. Da-da-da!
It's all lumber. Every bit of it.